As if the world wasn't talking about Brexit enough, it's made its way to TYT Sports, not only because my passport still qualifies me to be part of the UK, although based on the decision, and my biases aside, I don't know if I'll be heading back there if Boris Johnson and his awful Barnett ends up taking over. It's worse than Trump's. How is that possible?
It's amazing that Boris Johnson's also a Manchester City transfer target for the Premier League.
Surprising. It's because they'll be able to buy him because he's already from the UK. But I know what you're wondering. Where is this leading to, fellas? Well, it's going to lead to none other than Paul Pogba. And according to many articles, CaughtOffside.com ran an interesting one. The Brexit vote could spell bad news for English suitors of Juventus midfielder Paul Pogba. Now, without the full statistics and details going on behind Brexit, which if you're really interested in my thoughts, I'm sure there'll be some point on the main show, which I'm hitting today, where I talk about it. You can head over there and check that out. This is just about football. The whole process won't be fully legitimate for another 2 years, I believe. So I still believe these are a lot of just speculation, capitalizing on the thought of Brexit influencing world football, which, by the way, it probably will. But according to the article, and I quote, the Brexit vote could spell bad news for the English shooters of Juventus midfielder Paul Pogba because, as we all know, the huge implications of this, we don't know the full details yet, but the Brexit vote will likely cause the sterling pound to be weaker due to panic and uncertainty, and therefore it would put teams like Real Madrid, who remain within the EU, at an advantage to buy Paul Pogba, and according to them, it's a £20 million advantage.
That's a £20 million advantage. Isn't the pound decreasing?
Yeah, so it's probably going to be worth like 25 cents tomorrow.
Oh, wow, 25 cents. I'll buy Pogba for that much.
So any English club, Goal.com understands Chelsea, Manchester United, Manchester City are all interested, and they would be having to pay around €100 million to buy him. But because of maybe added tariffs and added taxes that are going to be put forward.
Tariff in a while.
Well, tariff has been flown around the internet. There's people who don't have a clue about politics. That's what I love about this Brexit thing. They just drag words out the dictionary. What about the tariffs that I'm going to have to pay to buy food now that was made in Germany? The tariffs! You don't have a clue what you're talking about, mate. Relax.
Sounds like fourth grade. We called it social studies.
The thing about it is, right, money isn't the issue for Paul Pogba. It's not like suddenly Chelsea are going to have to pay £20 million more and they're going to be like, oh, we don't want him for that. Then £20 million? Have him, Real Madrid. Real Madrid are like, fine, we don't need to pay a tariff or an extra tax. We will take him in. Tariff. No problem. There's a check mark for every time we say tariff. Thanks, Mary, put it. That's not going to sway the decision either way. The only decision that I imagine that would sway it is how legitimate it would be to have him come to the country and be able to play without having to face any restrictions, because there's a lot of players that come in or out of the Premier League that are not obviously from the UK. There's a huge foreign influence of players in the Premier League. That is a legitimate reason, I believe, not the extra money that would have to be paid or the added taxes or the added benefits, because these teams are spending bajillions of dollars on players, especially Chelsea, who have more money than they have sense. So that, I believe, isn't the main problem.
Nice play on words there.
Right? Play on the words. Real Madrid, on the other hand as well, they will meet any price tag, I believe. So the rumours, by the way, they all have a reason. We're not just focusing on the Brexit. The idea is that Paul Pogba, for Juventus, there was a bid inquired about from Real Madrid, which was asked to go higher. Apparently, he's going to be the world's most expensive player at €100 million to be bought.
He's worth it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Let's get into that discussion.
I do.
No player's worth that, in my opinion. But
okay. I take that back almost immediately, because I say with the NBA that there's only like 5 max contract players like ever in the league, and everyone gets a max contract though. But you got to pay what it costs, right? Is Paul Pogba going to come into your team or your squad in your starting 11 and you're an immediate contender to win the Champions League? I mean, granted, if you go to a Real Madrid, of course you're an immediate contender to win the Champions League. You just won the Champions League. But if we're going to rank the best midfielders in the world, is he in your top 3?
It's a very interesting
Is he
question.
debatably in your top 3?
Debatably, yes.
Okay. I feel that anybody who's debatably in the top 3 to 5, right, for midfielders, back 4, strikers and forwards, deserve whatever it takes if you can afford it.
Yeah.
So it sucks for other teams that aren't Real Madrid and can't afford someone like that, but if you're Paul Pogba and you think you're worth that much money and someone's going to give it to you, why wouldn't you take it?
It's true, and here's my thoughts.
Also, so real quick, I'd love him to stay on Juventus.
Yeah, so would
I would love it. It'd be great.
I mean, he's given them a year more than what people expected him to. They thought he was going to.
One more year.
And people, again, think, oh, 1 more year. He is very young. I'm going to wear my heart on my sleeve, full honesty, when it comes to the value that's attached to certain players. We're encompassed in this bubble, right, of world footballers where we are so engrossed in future talent. And that is the effect of a Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo tenure, is because we are dying for someone to compete. Each nation wants any of their players to compete.
Right.
France, as a total, have had phenomenal footballers for the last decade. They have had Zidanes, they've had Henrys, they've had Patrick Vieira's. In this new generation, they are crying out for someone new. I even feel that Antoine Griezmann is a lower risk, higher reward purchase.
But he's a
different player, but he's an impact player. And he's a player that I believe could change a lot of different dynamics in certain teams. He helped in take Atletico Madrid, a team that are on paper not as good as their opponents, to a Champions League final and was a penalty kick away from potentially winning it. And that's his own fault.
He also signed a 5-year contract.
Yes, he's pledged allegiance.
With Atletico, but he could have gone here, and it would have made sense, God forbid, some guy named Wenger ever decided to make that move.
He could have, and the thought is why would he? Is the other question. But
Vardy was like, why would I go play for Wenger?
So the same thing goes along with the price tags that are attached to English footballs, which people criticise me for being a little overcritical when I talked about Dele Alli's price tag or Raheem Sterling.
Like, but Pogba's proved more than Dele Ali.
Of course he has. Of course he has. Of course he has.
But maybe not 75 million.
But 100 million euros is obviously an insane amount of money. But again, it's orchestrated through us, through our infatuation with creating these talent, the talent that's going to try and push Ronaldo and Messi to the limit. Whereas we need to realise that no matter how much money you put on top of these players, and no matter how much you want to criticise Cristiano Ronaldo or for some reason discard Lionel Messi, there's no one that can really reach that level that I have seen recently until they're actually worth that amount of money. Just putting a €100 million price tag on Paul Pogba doesn't put him at that level. He's still to prove himself at that level. He's still to prove himself at the Euros at the moment. I have given him 6s and 7s every game so far. I think he played better coming off the bench. The only person that I would say that is worth that price tag, if someone else wants to try and put them up there, and his value would represent how close he is to Ronaldo and Messi, is Suarez. And that's someone who does prove it in that price tag and probably will continue to do so but won't move because he's found a place that he's going to be nestled neatly between those two players.
I just think that the world football system has created a way that if you can afford it, you can pay for it. And whether or not they're worth that amount of money is different from what they're actually going to get.
Yeah.
So, like, I think there's a media hype that, oh, my God, you wouldn't believe the price tag on Paul Pogba.
You wouldn't believe the price tag on James Rodriguez.
I just think that he's, okay, it's a lot of money. I get it. I just think that he has shown the right signs in the midfield that it's any amount of money that large is not a safe bet. But I don't think he's falling flat on his face like an Eden Hazard disappearing the next season, even though he didn't get different money between his player of the year.
It was a high price tag on him as well. James Rodriguez is the sign. Real Madrid consistently do this, but they afford to take the risk when you get a Gareth Bale, who was the record signing, and he's turning out.
Regardless what we say about Real Madrid, they did just win the
Champions League. Yeah, so they sometimes they either strike out or they put the ball out the park. Yeah. Like there's no in between for Real Madrid. It's either we had a great season, even if they finish second, they're like, oh my God, the world is over. We'll shite. But they need to go ahead and win something to prove that those players are worth the transfer value. The last point I'll say when it comes to Paul Pogba is very similar to we did the clip earlier on basketball. Actually, when you're looking to bring in someone in the risk, Paul Pogba has all the essential tools that you want to build a player that could just take over the world of football. He's big, he's fast, he's strong, but he is able to possess the ball like someone who is 5'4" and keep close control with it. So, and I think a system that would suit him probably would be Real Madrid. I think he goes to Chelsea. One, he's not playing Champions League football, and you can't just like detach someone who's in front of the world's eyes and just put them forward in the Premier League and think everyone's going to be satisfied. And he won't be satisfied. He'll want to play in the Premier League. Manchester United are circling the point. I want to play in the Champions League, sorry, good point. Manchester United are circling the point. But he wants to play in every single spectacle that's going to draw in all the eyes and is going to draw everyone to the attention that he is one of the world's best. So
right, well, I'm busting out my checkbook and I'm giving him $100 million. He's going to come
Real
host
Madrid
TYT Sports with me. You're getting transferred.
The backing of royalty will make that price tag look very, very affordable. So Let us know what you think in the comments. So there's more transfer rumours that we could have touched on. Sorry, Mkhitaryan. Obviously,
Yeah,
the
that's a
name
big
is thrown
one.
around. I think that's a
Wanyama.
great acquisition. Wanyama
Ex-Celtic
went
player.
to Tottenham. Celtic get a little piece of the pie because of the add-on fee. So we take some trickle down. Give me some crumbs.
I got
I'll take the
nipples, Greg.
crumbs.
Can you milk me?
Yeah. I would take Wanyama and Virgil van Dijk for all the crumbs in the world back because Celtic would need those two players to compete in Europe, I'm afraid. But that being said, we want to know your thoughts. If you want to come here to vent on your Brexit thoughts, go ahead. The more comments, the more interaction. We are smiling. Let us know what you think of Paul Pogba. Is he worth that ridiculous amount of money? Or as Jason puts it, he's got the potential.
I want him.
You want him
I
at Real.
like him.
You just want him for a FIFA game to play Real Madrid with Paul Pogba in the middle.
Okay. I also want
Pogbably.
Vardy up top. I'd Pogbably want that. I also want Vardy up top on my FIFA. If it's my FIFA team, it's different from what's real, okay? Just saying.
That's very true.
Calm down, everybody.
But comment, everyone.
But comment, everybody.